Hi everyone, please the vote Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well. And it's time for a review of the brand new Osees album, Protean Threat. This is a new full-length LP from the long-running punk psych garage outfit Osees. John Dwyer and company staying as prolific as ever, quickly following up last year's Face Stabber with a new batch of tracks, which is said to be their 23rd studio album? 23 albums. I wouldn't sweat that number of records though, because the band's very grimy, visceral, and bizarre brand of rock music is relatively cut and dry and easy to get into no matter what era of their catalog you're listening to. Personally, I think they've been on a creative streak as of late thanks to the upped recording quality of a lot of their recent works, along with more colorful writing ideas. Some of their best stuff to drop in the past several years feature these long, throttling jams that just lock you in and hold you in place for 5 to 8 minutes. See 2017's Orc, thank you. Though I haven't found what they've released since then to be nearly as thrilling and consistent overall. Protean Threat on the surface seems similarly all over the place too, but I will say with repeated listens, the material here does come off a bit more explosive, risky. It also benefits greatly from the record's very trim 38-minute runtime. Most of the cuts on this thing last just long enough to hit you with a satisfying whiff of whatever zany compositional idea the band has drummed up, whether that be some sci-fi synth passages or a searing noise rock guitar riff, or what sounds like these wailing ritualistic reed melodies on Red Study. However, the issue that you run into with a song like Wing Run, for example, is you end up with a moment that once you're done with it, it feels kind of like a senseless detour, as it's not really fleshed out enough to feel like a complete song, and aesthetically it's not really reinforced by anything else in the track list. It seems almost random in a way. There's also Mismuth, which kind of fades out of nowhere suddenly, when I was actually hoping for the slowly galloping drum beat and stuttering synth jabs to start sounding complementary to each other, start gelling in some way, but they never did. Occasionally, though, the band does nail down a meditative idea or a sound that they dive into a bit more deeply, whether that's on the nocturnal and post-punky disco grooves of Said the Shovel, the start of which sounds like a Talking Heads or even like a Liquid song, but Osees' eerie trademark lead vocals takes things in a totally different direction. The tense, chimey, cinematic instrumental interludes in what sounds like 6/8 push things even further off the rails. The longest song on the record, though, Toadstool, goes deep on this skipping groove that makes me feel like I'm about to go insane. Da-da, 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 da-da. The kind of thing that's good for a tension builder or like a portion of a song, but with it going on as long as it does with all the wailing, distorted guitars on top of it, it really gets my blood pressure up, and not in the best way. Further highlights on the project, though, are the fast and thumping beats on Dreary Nonsense. The aggressive and kaleidoscopic bass and guitar passages on that track are just mind-expanding. That combined with the ultra-aggressive performance, it's just next level. The whole track sounds like I'm in the middle of a crude, drunken demon frat party where, like, I don't know, freakish monsters and devil horns are vomiting and eating human body parts and swan diving onto the beer pong table. Then there's Terminal JAPE, which sounds like some Cro-Magnon noise rock. Easily one of the most pounding and distorted sounds the band has ever produced. The way this track hits is just incredible. It's cartoony and savage at the same time. Then If I Had My Way sounds like a demented version of a middling piece of 60s garage rock that originally might have been meant to be the opening theme music to a game show, or, you know, the kind of jam you'd hear on one of those old TV programs where there's a crowd there dancing and the band is on stage like pantomiming to a studio recording of their music. Yeah, in a way that seems like the point of reference here, but the scuzzy aesthetic in John Dwyer's surreal and absurd lyricism like very much subverts the sound in a creative way. So yeah, there are some tracks that I love on Protean Threat, but all things considered though, it's hard to say say that I feel like this is one of the band's best releases as of late. There's not really a strong vision or sense of direction to it, especially considering the closing track is so anticlimactic. You could place that song just about anywhere in the track list and it wouldn't really sound all that much different. You know, in a way I think the brevity and the lack of forethought on a lot of these tracks does benefit the album in that it does have this incredible energy to it. It feels very lightning in a bottle. However, that energy that is generated here isn't really directed in a way or organized in a way that makes the impact of this thing last, really stick with me. Feeling a strong 6 on this one. Transition, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Osees, Protean Threat, forever.